got two good here. We just had one go clear up. As you can see around here back, I think it's defensible, even with just hand tools. Like I said, we got two hand crews here right now. We're finally run out of either water or power here. Lost a home right above you there. You can see the black smoke. This is what's going on, man.
Fire is a force of nature, but so is a tight community of family and friends. At 1:24 p.m. on September 12, 2015, the two met face to face on Cobb Mountain in Lake County, California. The valley fire was bearing down on the Prather homestead, some 650 acres, including houses, a communications facility, and prime timberland. The family reacted with speed and determination. But the story of what made this possible goes back more than 150 years.
My great-grandfather came to Lake County, as far as I know, in 1864. In 1888, Adams Springs was a small little resort under receivership, and he found out it was for sale, and so there was 720 acres with it. Small hotel and a couple of buildings. The guests stayed a long time. They came by stagecoach, and most of them would stay for the summer. Fire was always a danger, it still is, and so it was a normal practice that all the people, all the resort owners, everyone around, there wasn't that many people around, but after a couple of rains and then dried enough to burn, they would set the mountains on fire and let it burn. There's little low-intensity fires because they did it every year.
Over the years, the family trained and passed their knowledge down across the generations, and it paid off.
When my grandpa's new hotel burned in 1943, it was a 3-story hotel, and it was surrounded by woods, and yet it never set any fires because of the control burning. They used to burn out Big Canyon and all around the resort.
Fire prevention and firefighting was in the family blood. But nothing would prepare the Prathers for the valley fire, which consumed more than 76,000 acres, killed 4 people, and destroyed nearly 2,000 structures.
I never heard my grandparents talk about a fire that size. I never heard anyone talk about a fire like that.
When the fire struck, the family sprang into action. They searched out whatever equipment they could find and alerted the neighbors. Their first thought was to protect the nearby community of Loch Lomond.
We had our hands full when the valley fire was burning. In the initial burning period, the fire started on a Saturday right around noon, 1 o'clock, something like that. I saw it from the back porch of my house. Mike got a call from his son Chris and said that the fire is only right down at the base of our mountain. If we get somebody up there, we can do something with it ourselves and try to stop it before it burns up our mountain.
Family members and friends slipped the roadblocks to bring in supplies.
There was 8 of us that night. We worked from 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon until almost 11 o'clock in the morning, Monday morning, by ourselves, and we put in almost 3 miles of fire line and held it.
Fire burnt a whole bunch of houses right through this subdivision, right under us, and I guess it jumped that trail and they fought it up here.
The air tankers were dropping like crazy, and we thought that for sure they would flank it and take care of it, but the wind was so strong pushing it towards Cobb Valley and at an angle towards Hoburgs. But our line did held. Every spot fire that did cross our line we picked up. Finally, late afternoon Monday, CDF finally got some stuff up here to help us out, starting with a couple of dozers.
We fight fire with fire. We try to eliminate the fuels, the ground fuels that tend to spark and then run up the trees. We can't always be successful from stopping them from torching in every tree, but by eliminating the fuels and opening the road and back burning and then holding our back burn with our little water we had in our trucks and just putting out the back edge and let the main fire pull our little fire towards itself, it was successful. We wanted to find out where we needed to be doing the most good at the time. So we found the fire here, and we decided we'd have to back burn from this next road up because it had already crossed this road we're on. And you look at it, it's just total devastation below, compared to the road up above that we backburned through, and it just backburned through like a large control burn, and it stopped the fire from continuing up the hill.
Daryl had his D4 dozer down here getting a ring around the houses and whatever.
We would like to use the cat to clean some of the trails that needed cleaned off better. But on the trucks, we would run one truck to get water while the other truck was fighting the fire, and then when that truck would get back, the other truck would go get water.
We had an S10 with a water tank. We had Danny's pickup with a little water tank. All of them had little pumps on it.
This truck, along with our little S10 pickup with 175 gallons and a similar type Honda pump, that was what we were using to hold our backfiring operation when we backfired from our logging road.
We protected this logging road. We got our fire trucks, our little pumper trucks, and my brother's water wagon, and we made a plan to hold the fire on our logging road, which is in fact what we did.
There was one point when we were on the steepest part of the land up here, and I could see the main fire coming, and I could see our burn behind us in the distance glowing, and not knowing what was out ahead of us, I felt the hair stand up on the back of my head, and I said, you know what, if this is a bad place to be. If it crossed our line, we'd be trapped. We couldn't get out either way. But we were able to hold it with 3 miles of our own line on Sunday night, and then the next day we got reinforcements with family and friends and everybody else that showed up, and we were able to hold it. We just kind of got lucky, and at the same time we combined our luck with a lot of skill and knowing what we were doing.
There's a voice on the wind saying everything's gonna change.
9 months after the Valley Fire, the forest tells its story of wind and flame.
One burn indicator is the scarring mark and the burn pattern, how it follows a tree pattern. As a fire moves this direction, it comes in and it wraps itself up and around as it goes through, and you see that on all these trees. The other indicator is what we call leaf or needle freeze, and on some of these that are scarred, the needles and the leaves will bend towards the direction that the fire traveled.
They never had any help from the forestry for, I think it was over 30 hours. I was worried. I had 3 grandkids up there. It was a combined effort, and if they hadn't been there, the whole of the mountain would have burned.
Oh, we're totally grateful that we still have a mountain here.
Very grateful we were able to do what we could to save ourselves, not only our own property, but the properties of other people as well, and the towers and everything else that goes with it.
Grateful for all the friends and family members that don't live up here that got here as soon as they could to give us the support we had.
It was a worry, I mean, yes. I mean, it's probably etched in their mind forever.
Here is the plaque for the Tree Farmer of the Year.
You have to be prepared ahead in that country. I mean, we had built the trails, we had the little fire trucks, and we had the experience.
There's a voice